it's Winnie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a fun makeup challenge, and I was recently at Daiso. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a Japanese version of the dollar store. Everything inside is priced around $1.50 or $3 at the very most, but they sell a lot of Japanese products. So I was in there and I realized that they had a huge selection of different makeup and beauty products, and I thought it would be cool to recreate one of my go-to makeup looks that I wear all the time using these super inexpensive makeup products. And I picked up a ton of stuff, pretty much everything that I would need to complete my entire look, and I probably spent around $20 or so on everything, which is crazy. But let's just go ahead and jump right into the makeup challenge. And side note, if you guys follow me on Snapchat, you kind of already know the story behind this video, but I did try to film this once already, and Yoshi, my dog, decided to chew up that memory card so it's in 1,000 little pieces, and all of the footage on the memory card is all gone. So I did have to re-film this video, and I did that, but that footage was also messed up because I swear it just is not meant to be. So yeah, this is my third time now trying to re-film this video. I have tried out the products and I've opened everything up, but I kept all of the packaging so that I can show you guys what it looks like. But prior to doing this video, I've never tried any Daiso makeup before, but at least now I can tell you guys what I think of the products since I've already tried it. So I'm gonna start with foundation first, and this is from the brand Santi or Sante. It's called the Aqua Stylish Silky Milk Foundation. It's an oil-free foundation. It has SPF 20 in it, and it's in the shade number 5. Now there were a few different types of foundations that they had, and they also had some BB creams, but what I found was they only had like 1 or 2 shades to choose from, and they weren't very different. So there weren't a lot of choices, and this was the closest thing to my skin tone, and you can see it's a little bit dark, and I'm gonna show you guys how it applies. But I have to tell you guys, this has such a strong scent to it. It's like a very, very strong baby powder florally scent, and it lingers and it just stays there, and I can smell it all over me. It's super strong. It's a pretty thick feeling foundation, and I'm just gonna dot it on one side of my face and blend it out. I really wanted to do this whole video only using Daiso products, and they don't have a lot of makeup application tools. So I did pick up a few brushes, but I also picked up this like powder compact, and it came with a little sponge. So I'm gonna use this to blend the foundation in. But you guys can see it's definitely not the right shade. It's very orangey, and this stuff is not easy to blend out. So there is one layer. I'm gonna apply a little bit more because, as you can see, it doesn't really provide any kind of coverage. Yeah, it's not super buildable at all. Like I said, it's just kind of tinted my skin this orangey color. The smell of this gives me such a bad headache. Moving on to the brows, I found this brow pencil here, and it just says eyebrow. It's in the shade Natural Brown. I think that was the only shade to choose from, and it says can draw easily right up here. It also has a spoolie end, and this is what it looks like. It's actually pretty cute. It's a retractable pencil, and the other end is a spoolie. This actually reminds me a lot of the IT Cosmetics Universal Brow Pencil. It is pretty pigmented, so I would use a lighter hand when you're using this, and the shade is slightly more of a cool tone brown, which I can definitely work with. But I would say for $1.50, this works pretty darn good. Alright, the brows are done. I'm gonna move on to eyeshadow. And I picked up a few different eyeshadow palettes to play around with, and they actually had a pretty large selection. And I found this one from Jewel Eye Color. It's just a nice little neutral eyeshadow palette with some browns and lighter shades. And then I got these two from Santi. This one is the Artistic Matte Duo palette. There's a row of matte eyeshadows and a row of shimmery shadows. These had a ton of fun colors, but I got it for the gray that's in here. And then the other one I got is also from Santi. It's the Matte Shadow Kit, and this one is just all mattes. And those did come with little sponge applicators, and I did try to use these, but they are super stiff, so they did not do a very good job at applying the eyeshadow. But like I said, they don't have a lot of makeup brushes there, so I did pick this up, and it's the Eyeshadow Tip Pen. It has 6 sponge applicators in here, and you just kind of switch them out and move them to the bottom, kind of like those lead pencils where you can like use down the lead and move it down to the bottom. And I love the writing on these packages. It says changeable tip makes your eye cosmetics much beautiful. Would you want to continue use the soiled Q-tips? I think not. So I'm going to use the smaller brown palette first. I'm going to take this like light tan color and I'm going to use it all over my lid kind of as a transition color, I guess. These little sponge applicators are so hard to use. I don't even know why they created this because it doesn't apply the makeup very well at all. Like, I should probably just use my finger to do this. I'm also like digging this brush into the eyeshadow. They do have some pigment to them. It's just that they are super powdery and they don't want to stay on my eyelid. I'm just gonna blend with my fingers. Now I'm gonna go and pick up this dark brown shade here and I'm going to define my crease with it. I'm kind of curious if these are pigmented or not, so I just want to like do a little swatchy swatch of these, see what it looks like. Oh, actually, whoa. This green one is like super neon green. These are pretty pigmented. Okay, I'm just gonna put that darker brown kind of in the crease area here. These sponge applicators seriously do nothing for blending at all. I think I might just take my finger and apply it. Okay, that's the best I can do with blending with my fingers. So I'm gonna move on to this. It's the Santi Big and Smoky Eyes Shimmering Eyeshadow Stick, and it's just a bronzy gold shimmery eyeshadow stick. It's actually very, very sparkly. There's a lot of glitter in this. This actually looks kind of pretty. It's very, very sparkly and shimmery. I'm gonna put this on my lid because I feel like some of these eyeshadows really need something to stick onto. So I'm gonna use this kind of as a base. The only problem with this is it does not go on very nicely. I don't think it's as creamy as it should be, so it's kind of like dragging across my eyelids. Now I'm gonna take the Artistic palette and I'm gonna be using this like silver gray here. It is supposed to be a metallic shadow, but it's just like a spray-on glitter. So underneath that, it's just like a purpley gray color. And I want to swatch some of these bright ones too to see if they're pigmented at all. These I don't think are as pigmented as the matte palette, but I mean, they do have some color to them at least. Okay, I'm just gonna go in with my little sponge applicator and pick up the gray. And I'm just gonna pat that over where I put the eyeshadow stick. And again, I'm really digging this into the eyeshadow to pick up product. I'm gonna pick up this brown again just to like soften up the edges of the gray because it's looking a little crazy. Blend that in there, sucker. I think I'm gonna pick up some of this darker brown to kind of define the outer corners of the eyeshadow. I think that's as good as that's going to get. So let's go ahead and move on to eyeliner. I did manage to find a liquid eyeliner. I don't have the packaging for this anymore, but it's from Princess, and it's just called the liquid eyeliner in black. And I have to say, this is probably one of the items that impressed me the most. It does work really well. It goes on very black and it's very smooth, and it does have this like pointy little end on the applicator so you get a nice precise wing. It's kind of got like a semi-matte finish to it. It's not totally matte, but I can work with that. The only thing is, the applicator tip is a little bit stiff. Actually, it's very stiff and it doesn't bend, so I just kind of like glide it along my lash line. But for $1.50, I'd say this is pretty damn good. Okay, before I finish off my eyes, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some concealer, and this is from Clean Color, and I believe they also make nail polish. But this is their Velvet Moisturizing 3-in-1 Concealer. It is dual-ended. One end is a twist-up concealer stick and it has a white core. The other end is a creamy concealer with a doe foot applicator. And they didn't have very many shades to choose from. I think it was only one shade, honestly, and it's in the shade Translucent Beige, which is pretty accurate because the concealer is virtually translucent. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply the creamy side first, or I mean the stick side first, and then I'll go in with the creamy side. But as you guys can see, it really doesn't conceal much. It almost like highlights my under eyes more so. But I'm just gonna apply this on to lighten up my foundation a little bit. And again, I'm using that little sponge from the Powder Compact. But the stick concealer side, really doesn't apply very well at all. It's not creamy. It honestly kind of feels like lip balm on my face. And like I said, it's just disappearing into thin air once you blend it. It's not concealing anything at all. Hopefully this will give me a little bit more coverage. I was really hoping for this to work out to save my foundation. It's slightly brightening up my under eyes, but I can still see my dark circles and my skin underneath it. And it also makes my skin look really shiny and oily. Can you guys see that? I mean, it kind of sort of helped a little bit, I guess, but now I'm going to set my face with the Mineral Compact Powder from Santi, and this is in the shade Beige, but I actually picked up a little face brush to use with this, and they don't have a ton of face brushes, but this is one of them. It's just a tiny little guy. It's an angled brush, and it's by Kroby Colors, and I'm just going to dust it on my face. It's kind of pokey. Just saying. It's not the softest brush in the world. At least the powder is kind of minimizing the shine on my face a bit. But you can see this side compared to this side, the powder is a little bit dark for me. Okay, going back to the eyes, I have this Santi Kajal Liner, and it looks like a little lipstick, but it just twists up. And this is actually pretty creamy and pigmented. I'm gonna use this on my waterline. And then going back to this little brown palette, I'm going to take this bronze shade and I'm going to run it along my lower lash line. This is actually a really nice, like, bronzy brown shade. And I'm also going to take a little bit of this dark brown. And then finally, I'm just going to take this gold color and highlight my inner corners with it. I'm going to put it on my brow bone as well. And that's pretty much it for the eyeshadows. I am skipping mascara today. I didn't pick any up even though they had some because I wanted to do false lashes. And they have a huge variety of falsies to choose from, which is awesome because these were only $1.50 and you get 3 pairs. And this one is a more glam style. It's just called False Eyelashes D in the glamorous type. And I tried these on and they are pretty big and glam. And I also found these, which are more of a natural style. It's just called Natural Eyelashes Beauty in the style W202. And these are just a little bit more wispy and natural looking. I also want to mention that the hairs on these lashes are more of a dark brown. They're not black. I'm not sure why they did that, but I still like these. I'm going to use this today. And I also came across these bottom, like, lower lash falsies, which I've never tried before. And I did try a pair on and they just looked so silly on, and they're really hard to put on because the lash band is very stiff. So yeah, the only problem with these are they don't come with lash glue, and I couldn't find any at the store. But I did come across this double eyelid glue, which I have tried to use in place of lash adhesive before, and it kind of worked similar. But this is glue for your eyelids to create a double fold if you have single lids, or to create a larger fold, which I have tried to use before. And it's kind of uncomfortable on the eyelids if you ask me, but I know some people who do use it and use it often. It comes with this little fork, and you put the glue on your lid, and then you kind of like push your lid in to create a double fold. It's kind of interesting, but I just thought this would work well as lash glue since I couldn't find any. I actually really like these falsies. Like, I would definitely go back and pick up some more because I love how natural they look. They're very wispy, but they're not like too dramatic. Okay, so I have my falsies on and the glue is holding up really well. So now let's finish off my face. I'm going to contour, and they don't have any contour products, so I'm just going to be creative and use the brown shades in this little palette with my tiny angled brush. And I'm just going to mix them together. Just going to carve out those cheeks. Now for blush and highlight, I found this little palette. It's called the Seductive Cheek and Highlight. It's in the shade Orange. I thought this was a really pretty peachy blush color. And I also picked up a smaller face brush. This actually is a little like retractable travel face brush, which I thought was cool. I'm gonna use this for the blush. This does come with its own teeny tiny little face brush, but I think I will go ahead and use this one. I do like this blush color though. And if you're wondering if this brush is soft, it's not. I think I overdid it with the blush. Just gonna sweep some of that away. Maybe I'll use the little brush for the highlight. The highlight doesn't look like there's an actual like shimmer or anything to it. I think it's just a light colored powder. So I'm just gonna apply it here. Oh, that's nice. Just gonna blend it out maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's shimmery. There's like a little tiny bit of iridescence to the highlight, but not like a lot. But I guess it's like a nice natural highlight if you don't like your highlight to be too shimmery. I think I might actually try to use these two little ones to highlight, just to add a little bit of shimmer to my face because I love that glow. I'm just gonna mix these two together, see what happens. Oh, that totally worked. You guys see that glow? Honestly, this little brown eyeshadow palette I think has been used all over my entire face now. My nose is like a flashlight. Calm down. Alright guys, last but not least, I have a lipstick here. It's from Clean Color. It's called the Everlasting Lipstick. It's in the shade Almond, which looks like a nice, like warm, neutral, nudie brown color, which is right up my alley. But I have to say, this is not super pigmented. You really have to like rub this onto your lips to get some good color. I don't mind the color at all. It's kind of got a matte finish to it. And it definitely has the scent and taste of a $1.50 lipstick. And this is the final look using all of the makeup that I got from Daiso. Honestly, I would say this looks pretty good in my opinion. I would definitely be okay walking around the streets with this makeup on, and you would never guess that everything that I used was only $1.50 each. And here's a little bit of a closer look. I guess you can't really tell on camera how off the color of the foundation, the powder, and the concealer is. It looks like I just put self-tanner on my face only. But other than that, I was definitely surprised by how some of these products worked. I'm definitely impressed by some of the eyeshadows, the eyeliner, the falsies of course, and the brow products. Some of the face products though are a whole different story. If you are in a pinch or you're on a super low budget, I would definitely say try out some of these Daiso makeup products because they might just surprise you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this fun makeup challenge. I really enjoyed recreating this go-to makeup look of mine using super inexpensive makeup products. So give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can also find me on my Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which are all linked down below for you. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!